Good morning, class 12 students. So this is your subject physics, lecture number 9, that is ray optics, and lecture number 10. So you were studying about compound microscope and you have studied one case when the image was formed at least distance of distinct vision by using a compound microscope, right? Now we'll be discussing the second case in which the image will be formed at infinity, and such type of adjustment is also called normal setting or normal adjustment. So you can say in normal adjustment of a compound microscope the image will be formed at infinity. Okay, so as you know, in compound microscope there is an objective lens and there is a eye lens. Objective lens is of small focal length as compared to eye lens. Okay, so now see, to form the image at infinity, so this is your f0, that is focus point for your objective lens. This is your fe, that is focus point for eye lens. Now, what is the difference between this diagram and the diagram which you studied when the image was formed at least distance of distinct vision is that we have shifted this eye lens in this case such that the image formed by the objective lens is formed at the focus of the eye lens. Okay, so we have adjusted the eye lens such that the image formed by the objective lens is formed at the focus of this eye lens. Okay, so now your AB is the object. So we have taken two rays, one which is parallel to principal axis and one which is passing through optical center of this objective lens. Okay, so they are meeting, so this will pass through focus, that is focus of your objective lens, and this will go undeviated. So here the image will be formed, that is A dash B dash, which is formed due to this objective lens. Now let us take two more rays, one which is going again parallel to principal axis and falling on eye lens, and second which is passing through optical center of eye lens, because this image A dash B dash will be acting as an object for this eye lens. Okay, so now they will be going like this because this will be passing through focus. Now as you can see, they are parallel to each other. That means the image will be formed at infinity in this case because these rays are parallel to each other. Okay, now we want to calculate magnification in this case. So for that, as you know, beta is the angle subtended by image and alpha is the angle subtended by object when both are at least distance of distinct vision. So let us suppose this distance is nothing but d, that is least distance of distinct vision. Okay, so A double dash B1, this I have just drawn this object here. So the angle subtended at eye lens will be alpha, and I am marking the image which was formed in first case, that is A double dash B double dash at D. So this angle was beta, right? Now to calculate magnification, we will be considering two triangles, triangle A double dash B double dash O2, that is this one, and the triangle A double dash B1 over 2. And in these triangles, we will be calculating tangent alpha and tangent beta. So tangent beta will be A double dash B double dash upon A double dash O2, and tangent alpha will be A double dash B1 upon A double dash O2. So here I have just written in those triangles the value of tangent beta and tangent alpha. Now to calculate magnification, you know it is tangent beta upon tangent alpha. So tangent beta upon tangent alpha. So from here A double dash O2 and A double dash O2 will cancel out. So you will be left with A double dash B double dash upon A double dash B1. Right? Now let us multiply and divide this equation by A dash B dash. Okay. So here also it is divided and here it is multiplied. Okay. So now if you look at this, this is the size of image and this is the size of object for your eye lens. So this is nothing but magnification due to eye lens, that is ME, and this is nothing but magnification due to your objective lens, that is size of image by objective lens upon, or you can say height of image by objective lens upon height of object. So therefore this is ME into MO. So now we will just put the values of ME and MO and we will get the magnification for this case. So ME, as you know, it will be VE by UE for a lens. So therefore it will be D by FE, and M0 is V0 by U0, and as we have considered in last case also that if the V naught is nearly equal to L, that is length of microscope tube, and U naught nearly equal to F naught, that is focal length of the objective lens. So MO will be minus L by F naught. Putting both the values in the formula of magnification, you will get minus LD upon F naught E. So this is the formula of magnification when the image is formed at infinity for a compound microscope. Also, as you can see here, this magnification is inversely proportional to F naught and Fe. So both of the focal lengths should be small, but generally Fe is greater than F naught, because if the focal length of eye lens will be greater, so that field of the view will be increased. Therefore, both are small, but Fe is greater than F naught to increase the field of view. Okay, so the next is astronomical telescope. So as all of you know, why we use a telescope, generally through a telescope stars, planets, etc. are seen. So therefore it is a device which is used for observing distinct images of heavenly bodies, for example stars, planets, etc. Okay, as in compound microscope, in telescope also we have two types of lenses, objective lens and eye lens. But the change here is that here objective lens is of large focal length and eye lens is of small focal length. Okay, again the reason for this I'll be telling you when we will calculate the formula for magnification, right? So in this also we will be discussing two cases. First, when the image is formed at least distance of distinct vision, and the second when the image is formed at infinity. Okay, so here again we have an objective lens of large focal length and an eye lens of small focal length. Okay, so see, now here the images are the rays are coming from infinity, because as I told you, telescope is used to see the distinct images of stars, planets, etc. And as you know, stars and other planets are far away from each other. Therefore, it will be imagined that the rays are coming from the infinity, right? So if the rays are coming from the infinity, they will be meeting at a point at the focus of the objective lens. So these rays are meeting at the focus of the objective lens, and here the image is formed, that is A dash B dash, by this objective lens, right? Now we have put the eye lens such that Fe is here, that is Fe, you can say it lies between O1 and Fo, somewhere in between. Okay, so if this is Fe, this will also be Fe. Now this image by the objective lens will act as an object for eye lens. So again we will be taking two rays from this object, one which is going to parallel to principal axis, and second which is passing through the optical center of your eye lens. Now as you can see clearly here, they are getting separated from each other. So if we produce them in backward direction, they will be meeting at a point. So, and we are assuming that meeting point to be least distance of distinct vision. So you can say here the final image formed by the eye lens is A double dash B double dash, and it is formed at the least distance of distinct vision. Okay, so here one more thing, as you can clearly see, O1 F naught, this is the image position of image for objective lens. So this is V naught, and F naught O2, this is the position of object for eye lens. So this is UE. So here you can say O1 O2, that is the length of microscope tube, the length of telescope tube here is equals to V naught plus UE. Okay, so L is V naught plus UE here. Okay, so now we will be calculating magnification. Again, the formula of magnification is tangent beta upon tangent alpha. So to calculate, and one more thing, this will be the angle beta and this will be the angle alpha. So if this is alpha, this will also be alpha. Okay, so now to calculate tangent beta, we will be considering triangle A dash B dash O2. So in triangle A dash B dash O2, tangent beta will be A dash B dash upon A dash O2. Similarly, to calculate tangent alpha, we will be considering triangle A dash B dash O1. So tangent alpha will be A dash B dash upon A dash O1. So this is your tangent alpha in this triangle, that is A dash B dash upon O1 A dash. Okay. So again, to calculate magnification, just divide them. When you will divide them, this term will cancel out. So you will get A dash O1 upon A dash O2. Now if you look in the diagram, Now A dash O1, this is nothing but focal length of the objective lens, and A dash O2 is nothing but UE. So if you take the sign, that will be minus UE. So the magnification has come to be f0 upon minus UE. Mark it first equation. Okay, now we will be considering eye lens and we will be using lens formula for that. So as you know, lens formula is 1 upon f is equals to 1 upon v minus 1 upon u. For eye lens, as the final image is formed at this least distance of distinct vision, so VE is minus D and U we are taking it to be minus UE. So just put both the values here. FE I am taking to be FE because this is the eye lens. So 1 upon FE will be equal to 1 upon minus D because V is minus D. Minus minus would be plus 1 upon UE. So from here calculate the value of 1 upon UE. So 1 upon UE from here will come to be 1 upon FE plus 1 upon D. Okay. Now if we take 1 upon FE common from these two factors, so 1 upon FE will be taken out common, so you will be left with 1 plus FE upon D. Mark it second equation. Now from the second equation, put the value of 1 upon UE in this first equation. So the magnification will come to be minus F0 upon FE into 1 plus FE upon D. So this is the formula of magnification for a telescope when the image is formed at least distance of distinct vision. So as you can clearly see here, larger the F0, larger will be the magnification. Smaller the FE, larger will be the magnification. So therefore, we take objective lens of larger focal length and your eye lens of smaller focal length in telescope to get high magnification. Okay, so that was the first case in which the image was formed at least distance of distinct vision for our telescope. Now the second is when the image is formed at infinity, and again it is called normal setting, or you can say normal adjustment. Okay, so to make the normal adjustment of a telescope, what is done? Eye lens is shifted away from the objective lens such that F0 and FE coincides. Okay, so this eye lens, see in first diagram this FE was here. So in this diagram, just what is done, eye lens is shifted towards right side, that is you can say away from your objective lens such that F0 and FE are now coinciding with each other. Okay, so now in this case what will happen? Again all the things are kept similar. The rays are coming from infinity, and due to this the image will be formed at your focus point of the objective lens. So here A dash B dash is formed at FO, but now as you can see this image will act as object for eye lens, and this object for eye lens is placed at FE. So therefore the final image will be formed at infinity by again taking two rays, that is one which is going parallel to principal axis, it will pass through focus of eye lens, and one which is going through optical center of eye lens. So when you will produce them in or you can say when you will extend them in your backward direction, you will see the image is formed at infinity. Okay, so now in this case, if you want to calculate the distance O1 O2, so see this is nothing but focal length of objective lens, and this is nothing but focal length of eye lens. So in this case, that is in normal adjustment, you can say that the length of telescope tube is F0 plus FE, and in the first case it was V0 plus UE. Okay, so again this angle will be alpha, or you can say this will be alpha, and this angle will be beta. Okay, so now as you know, M is defined as tangent beta upon tangent alpha. Now let us again consider triangle A dash B dash O2. In this, tangent beta will be A dash B dash upon A dash O2. So it is written here, tangent beta will be A dash B dash upon A dash O2. And in triangle A dash B dash O1, in this triangle, tangent alpha will be A dash B dash upon A dash O1. So this will be your tangent alpha. Now to calculate magnification, just divide them. So A dash B dash will be cancelled out. So you will be left with A dash O1 upon A dash O2. Now again if you look at the figure, A dash O1 is nothing but F0, and A dash O2 is nothing but minus Fe. So just putting the values, you will get magnification to be F0 upon minus Fe. So the final formula of magnification for a telescope when the image is formed at infinity, or you can say when it is in normal adjustment, is minus F0 upon Fe. Again you can say F0 will be greater and Fe will be smaller to get higher magnification. Okay, now this is the same thing that I have written. In normal adjustment, the distance between the lenses is F0 plus Fe. Okay. So now we have derived two formulas of magnification for two different cases. So always remember, when the image was forming at least distance of distinct vision, in that case your magnifying power will be maximum, that is minus F0 upon Fe into 1 plus Fe upon d. And when the image is formed at infinity, that is in normal adjustment of telescope, magnifying power is minimum, that is minus F0 upon Fe. So here I want to ask you a question. If the objective lens and eye lens of telescope are replaced such that objective lens of your telescope is used as eye lens of your compound microscope, and eye lens of your telescope is used as objective lens of your compound microscope, that is if the lenses are interchanged, then can you say the microscope will work? That is, if the two lenses of a telescope are interchanged, and then if we want to use it as a compound microscope, would it work? So the answer would be no, and the reason is because in your compound microscope, both the objective lens and eye lens are taken of small focal length, but in your telescope, objective lens is taken of large focal length and eye lens is taken of small focal length. So therefore, if you interchange the lenses of a telescope, it cannot be used as a compound microscope. Okay, so now there is one more type of telescope called reflecting type telescope. Until now, about which telescope we were talking, that was refracting type, because in that we were using lenses. But here in this telescope we will be using mirrors. So therefore it is called reflecting type telescope, and this telescope has various benefits over your normal astronomical telescope that I will be telling you later. First of all, let me explain you the diagram of a reflecting type telescope. Okay, so what is done basically in the reflecting type telescope, the lenses are exchanged by the mirrors. So instead of objective lens, here a objective mirror is used. So this is the objective concave mirror. Okay, now it is taken in two parts such that here the eyepiece is placed. Okay, so where the light would be falling and we will be seeing the image formed. So now what happens, again the rays will be coming from infinity. So when the rays comes from infinity, they will strike this objective mirror and they will go like this after reflection through this concave mirror. Now there is again a convex mirror used, which is called a secondary mirror, up to which these rays will come and they will strike on this mirror. So as you know, this is a convex mirror. So again on striking this mirror, the rays will be reflected back and they will be going like this, and they will be meeting at a point on eyepiece. So here the image will be formed by the reflecting type telescope. So here we have used two mirrors. First is your objective concave mirror and second is your secondary mirror, which is a convex mirror. Okay, so now the advantages of this telescope is that its image is much brighter as compared to the refracting type telescope. Second is that objective mirror is free from chromatic and spherical aberrations. That is, the objective mirror which we are using is free from any aberrations, therefore the image is much brighter. So this is the reason for this one. And what do you mean by chromatic aberrations? See, chromatic aberrations are the inability of a lens to focus all the colors on a single point. Okay, so that is overcome in the objective mirror, and also there are less spherical aberrations as compared to the lenses. Okay, so therefore this reflecting type telescope is much better as compared to refracting type telescope. Third one is the image that we get is also highly resolved, and the reason is because we are using the mirror of very high aperture. Okay, and the fourth benefit is that because the mirrors weighs very less as compared to lenses, so the mechanical support is also reduced in your reflecting type telescope. So these are 3-4 advantages of this telescope over the refracting type telescope. Now in normal adjustment, it also has a magnification of f0 by fe. Now as f0 is your objective mirror, so you can say f0 is nothing but r by 2, that is r is your radius of curvature of objective concave mirror upon fe. So this was all about telescopes, compound microscopes and simple microscopes. Okay students, so now I'll be discussing the homework solution of last lecture. So the first is question number 28. It says a man with normal near point of 25 centimeter reads a book with small print using a magnifying glass of focal length 5 centimeter. So the focal length is given to be 5 centimeter and the man has normal near point, that is 25 centimeters. Now the A part says what are the closest and the farthest distances at which he can read the book while viewing through the magnifying glass. Okay, so to calculate closest distance, we will be taking the image such that it is formed at least distance of distinct vision, because as I told you earlier also, D, that is capital D, that is 25 centimeter is the point where a human eye, up to which a human eye can see clearly. So therefore we will be taking the image to be formed at minus 25 centimeters, right? Now you know focal length, you know V, so just calculate U by using lens formula. That will come to be minus 4.2 centimeters. So this is the closest distance of object from which the man can see it clearly. Now to calculate farthest distance, we will be taking the image to be forming at infinity. Okay, so now again you know focal length, you know the image form position of image, so again calculate U. That will come to be minus 5 centimeter. Here I am denoting it by U dash. So this is the farthest distance from which the man will be able to see clearly. Now in the B part of the question, it is asked what is the minimum and maximum angular magnification or magnifying power possible using the above microscope. Now again, to get maximum magnification, as you know, the formula of magnification for a simple microscope is 1 plus d by f, or you can say d by u. So it would be simple. I am using here d by u. So this will be the maximum magnification. D is minus 25, u is minus 4.2. So that will give you 6. For minimum magnification, u dash should be farthest, that is it should be greater. So therefore for minimum magnification we will be taking d by u dash, or you can say minus 25 upon minus 5. So that will give you 5. So these are the maximum and minimum magnifications which can be produced by that lens. Okay, so the next is question number 29. It says a card sheet divided into squares, each of size 1 millimeter square, is being viewed at a distance of 9 centimeter through a magnifying glass of focal length 10 centimeter. So the area of the square board is 1 millimeter square. Each square has this area. Object is kept at a distance of 9 centimeters. So I am taking U as minus 9 centimeters. And focal length of the magnifying glass is given to be 10 centimeters. Okay. So in the first part of the question, it is asked, what is the magnification produced by the lens and how much is the area of each square is altered. Okay. So as you know U, you know F. So easily you can use lens formula and you can calculate V. So 1 upon F is equals to 1 upon V minus 1 upon U. F is 10 centimeter. U is minus 9 centimeters. Put the values, you will get the value of image, or sorry, the position of image to be minus 90 centimeters. Okay, so now as you know for lenses, the formula of magnification is V by U. So now you know V, that is minus 90 centimeters, and U as minus 9 centimeters. So the answer would be 10. So therefore it means the glass will be providing a magnification of 10. Now can you tell me how the area of each square will be altered? So 10 the value of m to be 10 means that the image is magnified by 10 times, or you can say the area will also become 10 times. So initially the area was 1 millimeter square. So now each side will become 10 times. So now the side will become 10 into 10 because each side has now become 10 times. So the area will become 100 millimeter squares. Okay, then the B part of the question says, what is the angular magnification of the lens? So again, for angular magnification, we'll be using the formula D by U. D is minus 25 and U is minus 9. So that will give you 2.8. Okay. Third question asks, is the magnification in part A is equal to magnifying power in part B? So as you can see, both the magnifications are not equal. So therefore the answer will be no. And why does that happens? Because see, here V is not equal to D and magnification is V by U. In the first formula, we have used V by U, and in here we are calculating by D by U. So V by U and D by U can only be equal when V is equals to D. Okay, so it won't be equal until you have V equal to D. So because here V is not equal to D, therefore we are getting two different values here. Okay students, so your chapter number 9, that is ray optics, is now completed. So do rest of the questions. Thank you.